Overnight, a major breakthrough in the Senate. A bipartisan group of senators hatching a deal that would end the shutdown stalemate and fully fund large swaths of the government through next September.
I'm optimistic that after almost 6 weeks of this shutdown, we'll finally be able to end it.
Despite major disagreement inside the Democratic Party.
I mean, I voted no just because I was so pissed off.
The plan would fund all of government through the end of January and pay for military construction, agriculture, and SNAP benefits, previously known as food stamps, through September of next year. It guarantees that all federal workers will get back pay from the shutdown, and those who lost their jobs would be hired back. What it doesn't include, any promises on health care and the extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits, which is the reason Democrats had pushed for the shutdown in the first place, warning premiums are set to skyrocket.
What this Senate is about to do is make a horrific situation even worse.
Infuriating some in the party, though many still blame President Trump.
We did not get our key demand. We're being threatened by someone who carries out his threats.
Instead, the Democrats who voted yes say they were given a promise on a separate vote for the tax credits and a vow to negotiate, but no guarantees in a Republican-controlled Senate.
We will hold their feet to the fire.
After attending the Commanders-Lions game Sunday, President Trump sounding optimistic at the White House.
And it looks like we're getting close to the shutdown ending.
For millions of Americans directly impacted by the shutdown, relief appears to be in sight, a necessity for overtaxed food banks nationwide. Over 40 million people rely on SNAP for food, a big reason moderate Democrats decided it was time to bring the shutdown to an end.
My colleagues know that opening the government was key to stopping that pain.
Now, a final vote in the Senate could happen as soon as today. It will then go to the House, where its passage is no guarantee. The House has not been in session since September 19th, but members are now expected to be back within 36 hours of final passage in the Senate. And then, of course, President Trump will need to sign it, a process that could take days to complete. Savannah?
It's not over till it's over. Ryan Nobles on Capitol Hill. Thank you very much.
Let's bring in Hallie Jackson, NBC senior Washington correspondent. Hallie, the government's been shut down more than 40 days. The travel chaos around the country, SNAP benefits up in the air for tens of millions. What was it, or what were the combination of things that finally led this group of Democrats to say enough's enough?
So a couple of big things here, Craig. First, everything you just listed, that combo platter, if you will, of food aid running out, of the chaos at airports, of federal workers not getting paid. People were hurting, and that's what you heard this group of Democrats talk about in breaking with the rest of the party to come to a deal here and try to move that forward. The other thing, though, is one Democrat said it wasn't working. Their whole strategy to shut down the government, to try to put the pressure on Republicans to negotiate on those what they see as critical health care subsidies, those effectively tax credits for the Affordable Care Act, it wasn't panning out. And so at least this way, in the eyes of this group, they at least have Republicans coming to the table for a vote as per the terms of this deal here. Keep in mind, too, though, Craig, there was an interesting dynamic that you heard them not rule out the possibility of after January, once this short-term funding piece runs out, they may shut down the government again. They're leaving that potential open because, again, those SNAP benefits, those kinds of impactful pieces to Americans wouldn't be so much on the table. So it looks like next steps moving forward for now, as Savannah says, it is certainly not over until it's over. But let's check back in again in a couple of months and see where those premiums are.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, I mean, there's a real division within the Democratic caucus. There were those who wanted to end the shutdown, and there are quite a few, and we saw many of them in the piece there, that are angry that the Democrats, what they say, caved.
That's right. Look at Senator Sanders. Look at Senator Elizabeth Warren, who called this a mistake. California Governor Gavin Newsom called it pathetic. You're right, Savannah. There's a lot of Democrats who think that the party should have held the line. In particular, when you look at the timing here, the party's coming off a big win, a series of wins last week on election night. It's Republicans who are getting blamed by Americans for the shutdown, according to polling. It's not Democrats who are taking the blame. So you have some in the party scratching their heads going, this doesn't actually make any sense right now. Look at the political dynamics. Of the 8 people who broke with the Democratic Party to move forward on a deal, none of them are up for re-election this coming year. They're either not up this cycle or else they're choosing to leave Congress altogether. So that's the political backdrop. And now you have the top Senate Democrat, Chuck Schumer, facing a lot of heat. He technically did not vote for this, but there are those who are suggesting, including one House Democrat at least, that maybe he should be replaced at this point. All of that said, I will tell you that there are some in the party who feel like, hey, at least Democrats have shined a light on this health care issue. They've really put that in the spotlight. A majority of Americans support extending those Affordable Care Act tax credit, those subsidies. And so Democrats feel like they've made that point and they can get to a winning position. Savannah and Craig.
All right. Our senior Washington correspondent, Hallie Jackson. Hallie, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.